Hello.
Hello, candidate Lee. How are you doing, sir?
Very good, sir. Hey, thank you for having us. Yes.
Thank you for coming on. I'm glad you're joining me. Um, I have on very good authority that you enjoy that you're good with the karaoke. So I guess my first question is, well, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. Hello, kind and generous ladies and gentlemen in Alaska, Kenai Peninsula, and also in the world. Thank you for being our friends. And my name is Huhnkie Lee, and I'm running for the United States Senate as an independent Alaskan in this year 2022. And I apologize for the technical glitch. I'm kind of, yeah, I'm not quite updated of all these wonderful internet technologies, but Mr. Bill Baker kindly guided me that I should download the Instagram, and I did. And yeah, now thank you for your education, and yeah, thank you.
Well, well, thank you for making the time. You're running for Congress in a very wide field,
I'm
and
running for U.S. Senate.
I'm sorry, for Senate.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
even more cool. I apologize. So then, what motivated you to run for Senate?
So, well, it started as a hobby. Well, yeah. So, I mean, I'll be honest with you. So, I'm a lawyer, and before I was a lawyer, I was a computer programmer. So, I have a day job, right? Back in the days, I was computer programmer as a day job, and in my spare time, I wanted to do something different, like career development. So, I started studying for bar exam. So, I passed the Alaska bar exam, and I got a lawyer job. That was 2018 in Alaska. 4 years ago. And then after I passed the bar exam, after I got lawyer job, now I wanted to, in my spare time, I wanted to make a next step. So I started to going to like political meetings, like city council meetings, in Matsuboro assembly meetings, and so I start to meet political activists and local politicians. And that was 2018. Okay, 2 years has passed. So in year 2020, I ran for Alaska State Senate in Matsu Valley, Greater Wasilla area, as a registered Republican back then. Right now, I'm independent, but so I lost the 2020 August primary, Republican Party primary. Okay, so after that, I thought instead of like running for something more local level, I decided to actually go to a higher level. So now I'm running for U.S. Senate.
Okay. Um,
Yeah.
so what is it about the Senate that sounds appealing to you? Um, eh,
Uh, yeah. Hey, thank you for the question. So, uh, there will be three positions I will run, like forever. Okay.
okay.
It will be U.S. Senate, or Alaska State Governor, or United States President. They will be the only three things that I will be running all my life.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your background. So you were in the Army, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So you were stationed in Fort Hood. Can we talk about how your time in the military, maybe it shaped any of your policies? Maybe what are some of your policies?
So, do you want me to talk about U.S. Army career or
No,
political
no.
policy?
Well, you know what? Let's stick with policy because I think that it's the most pertinent to the discussion because really that's where you're not necessarily running on what you did 10 or 15 years ago. What's important is what's happening now. What are your plans for the future? uh,
Mhm,
what matters to you? You are a computer programmer, now you're a
mhm,
lawyer. I think that those are probably the two most important jobs to discuss uh, right now. They're the most pertinent, at least to joining the U.S. Senate. So, what were some of the things that you learned as in computer programming, or actually, sorry, man, I suck at this. Let's go with policy. Let us stick with policy. What are the things that are important to you?
So hypothetically, if I get elected this year as a U.S. Senator in Alaska, 2022, the very first bill I will be writing would be pebble mine. So what I would do is this, okay? I'm an independent. I want to bridge the gap between Republicans and Democrats, okay? So the bill I will be writing will be like this, okay? It will be about environmental regulation, okay? So nowadays, I think the Pebble Mine project failed so far because they did not have good environmental plan. So the gold, whatever mining industry, what they do is after they excavate those rocks to reach into this gold mine deposit, they dispose those rocks, dumping them. And in many parts of the world, what happened 10 years ago, 15 years ago in Canada, what happened was dumping them broke and all that dirty rocks flew into the river. Okay, so that happened in Canada and other parts of the world. So, so it's a legitimate concern. Okay, so my proposal would be making it illegal to build a dumping dam. Then what do we do with this wasted, this tailings, this waste rocks, which contains like heavy metals? We build a road and trap them in a asphalt cement so that the polluting elements like heavy metals and sulfur would leak out of this asphalt cement road very slowly and over time and over space. In that way, it's like a natural setting. Okay, natural setting under the ground, yeah, they are heavy metals, but they leak out very slowly into the groundwater. So that's what we need. We need dilution over time and space. I know this because I have engineering and science background. So that will be my proposed solution for that problem.
Okay, so that's the first thing you're doing. What are some of the other things that matter to you? So, for example, very serious question is the topic of abortion has come up with the leaked memo from the Supreme Court. Right now, I guess it sounds like the president is looking for an answer from legislation being from the Senate or from the Congress. Where do you stand on that particular topic?
So basically, what I propose would be the prevention of unwanted pregnancy. So in social media, I have a lot of friends, and many of them are younger than me. I'm 43. Many of them are younger than me, and so I give them my 2 cents recommendation that wait until you turn 25. So until you turn 25, focus on school, education, and career development, and don't even think about dating until you turn 25. Keep your virginity until you get married, and you go to school and you graduate like college or trade school, and you get a job, and then you start saving money, and then you're 25, and then you have disposable income. Then you can start dating and find your best mate and get married and have children because raising children is very expensive. And by 25, you have emotional maturity and you can control your emotion, and then you have better chance of having a successful marriage.
Yeah, and that's a great answer. It's a really simple answer to just be a better person. Take care of yourself and be prepared. I like it. I like it.
Mhm.
Um, so aside from Pebble Mine, what do you think are some of the aside from environmental issues, what do you think are some of the most pressing issues to Alaskans? And what would be some of your solutions to those problems?
So in Alaska, we have problem of this violent crimes being number one, unfortunately. Alaska is per capita we have the most number of violent crimes per capita. Okay, so that's a big problem that we need to solve. And my suggest solution would be this. Okay, first we need to make a lot of money. So Pebble Mine, for example, $500 billion worth of copper, gold, and molybdenum and palladium. Okay, $500 billion worth of that. That's Pebble Mine. In Anwa oil and gas, which is not developed yet, they have $500 billion worth of oil and gas. Okay, and also I agree with former President Trump that clean coal technology exists. Filtration technology, clean coal. We have filtration technology nowadays is goes to nano technology, nano level. We can filter out even molecules. Okay, very highly advanced technology. So clean coal, yeah, I think that technology already exists. So in Alaska, we have $500 billion worth of coal. Okay, so Pebble Mine, Anwa Oil and Gas, and clean coal together, we will be making $1.5 trillion in Alaska. So with that kind of money, we can perhaps even have like free healthcare in Alaska and free college education in Alaska, and we can help out the poor people. And in the prison system, we'll educate them how to work and how to make happiness, how to pursue happiness in a legal and moral fashion. So yeah.
Um, First off, candidate Lee, um, I hope there are more candidates in the rest of the states like you.
Thank you.
Uh, this is one of the things that I think that people think about when they hear conservative is upset and not optimistic and not looking for good solutions to real problems. And
Mhm.
so for myself, as someone who understands it's expensive to have kids, um, I appreciate that you have these really well thought out answers to some pretty complicated issues. So thank you.
Yes, sir.
Now, um, in running for Senate, there are a couple of names that are very popular names, particularly among the Republicans or former Republicans, and there's two names right now are Chewbacca and Murkowski. How do you separate yourself from those two ladies?
So Senator Lisa Murkowski, she goes along with the American mainstream majoritarian ideologies. She sometimes she does cross party line. Okay, so uh, Senator Lisa Murkowski go along with American majoritarian mainstream ideology. Okay, when President Trump was not popular, she's against President Trump. When President Trump is popular, she goes along with President Trump. Okay, so that's Senator Lisa Murkowski. She always obeys mainstream majoritarian uh, trend of America in general across the party line. Okay, she obeys mainstream majoritarian American sentiment. That's Senator Samukoski. Now, Ms. Kelly Chibaka, she obeys 100% Republican Party platform. She 100% obeys Republican Party platform. And so both ladies, I'm not being a sexist. I admire ladies. By the way, yesterday, yeah, happy Mother's Day yesterday, everybody. I admire females, and there are strong female leaders in the history, like Queen Elizabeth of England, and also Jeanne d'Arc of France, extremely strong female leaders. We know, okay? But Ms. Kelly Chibaka and Senator Samukoski, they are not leaders, they are leadees. They are led and they obey. I am not that kind of politician.
My interaction with the Republican Party lately has been I know it's it's a different group than I think that it used to be, but it's very much still like a club. Like and um and it's a club that I don't think the members really like each other very much. It's a weird thing.
Okay.
But they're so excited to be a part of the club. Like the crazy thing is people pretend that there's only two clubs that you can be a member of, but they forget that there's so many different clubs out there. And then if you don't like any of those clubs, you can start your own club and then kind of create your own following. And I think that that's kind of what you are doing, and I think that that's important. So um, I don't know if you're people are apparently following quite a bit to what you're saying. So I'm really glad you're taking the time to talk to me about it. What are nationally? What are some of your what are your thoughts on different national policies rather than sticking with Alaskan energy?
So I'm running for U.S. Senate in Alaska year 2022. So whether I win or lose this election come year 2024, I will run for U.S. president. Thank you, thank you.
So out of curiosity, what are you drinking?
Oh, this beer,
Okay, what kind of beer?
Rainier.
So I went to a housewarming party for a friend of mine this weekend, and I brought him Rainier. So I
Oh,
like it. I,
nice.
I like I like your style, sir. Well, if that
Thank you.
do you mind if I toke up real quick?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Didn't want to make anything upsetting or set off for you. So why? I guess why? Why would you want to hang out with them? Like looking at the people that are in the Senate, right? And thinking about the things that they do. Like, well, why would you seem like a cool guy. Like, why would you want to hang out with them? Like,
With
why would
whom?
you want with the folks that are actually that are members of the United States Senate? It seems like there are a lot of folks in there. Um, hate to use the term swamp, but it's definitely a swamp. There are definitely creatures that have been living there for 50 or 60 years that aren't going anywhere. So like, why would you want to join that swamp?
Okay. So if I become U.S. senator this year, I will not join any caucus, and I will not join any caucus or group. No, I will be busy writing bills and talking to the real people and also business. Like, for example, Pebble Mine, right? I have to talk to the Pebble Partnership, okay? Uh, they're based in Canada, okay? I have to talk to them and to come up with a solution together, okay? And but also talk to real people. And but I will not be spending too much time with members of Congress because yeah, maybe sometime, but I will not be joining any caucus though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so we fast forward, we're 3 years out. We're in what, the first year of President Lee. Um, what are the things that President Lee is tackling?
Okay, so first we need to make a lot of money, okay?
Okay.
Uh,
You've
let's talk
done
about
that.
crime. Yeah.
You've opened it. You've opened up Anwar. You've opened up Pebble Mine. You have become the most successful senator Alaska has ever conceived. Now you're the president. You've shown you can make money. Yeah, that's it. That's
Okay.
where we're at.
Okay. Let's hypothetically let's imagine we have all the money that we need. Okay.
Okay.
Now, next step would be we have to eliminate crimes in America. Okay. Uh, so I'm not interested in other countries. Okay. America first, right? Like former President Trump said, America first. So we have to stop Americans killing each other. Okay. So how can we achieve that? To solve that problem of crime prevention, we have to understand what that problem is. Okay. So crime happens when people are angry, and people are angry because they are not happy, and people are not happy because they do not know how to be happy. Okay. Now, let me give you some example how to be happy. Regular exercise, a healthy diet, and learn how to sing, how to dance, how to practice martial arts, and those healthy hobbies. So those people need to learn, we need to educate them how to pursue happiness legally and morally and ethically. It's all about education. We need to educate people how exciting it is to learn foreign languages. And I study foreign languages, okay? So you don't even have to travel. Travel costs a lot of money. Let's say you study Spanish and it's for free. You go to YouTube or website, just type Spanish lesson. If you have cell phone, internet connection, you can learn Spanish for free, okay? And then after you learn Spanish, you don't have to travel to Mexico or Spain. You just go to their websites in the internet, okay? Spanish website, Mexican website, and you read the newspaper in those countries. Now you understand what they're saying. So that's how you pursue happiness for free. It doesn't cost any money, and it's nothing illegal about it. I'm just giving you a couple of examples. So
Yeah. Kenneth Lee, I'm liking everything that you're saying. I
thank you.
I hope more people hear it. I really and truly do, because one of the big conversations that I've had over the last 5 or so years is that battling depression, sadness, and all of the things that come with it. A lot of the responsibility to get yourself out of the funk rests on you. And how do you do that? I know that when I'm eating garbage and I'm not working out, that I'm depressed and that I'm not pleasant to be around. However, I also know that when I'm in, actively in jujitsu, I'm in class, I'm working out, I'm doing things, my hobbies are active, I'm much cooler to be around.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people just need to kind of separate from the little plastic screen that's in front of them for a little bit more of the day, just to enjoy the sunlight.
Yes, I agree with you. Yeah.
So how do you unwind?
Say one more time, please.
How do you unwind? Like what are your hobbies?
Oh, so right now I'm in a vacation. I'm in a hotel room in Kenai City, but I live in Wasilla, Alaska, in the Matsu Valley, and so I go to work just like everybody else, Monday through Friday, like 9 to 5. Then I come home and I do what's called Humanology series. It's recorded on computer and I upload it to Vimeo.com. I used to upload to YouTube.com. So all the past Humanology series, by now like 2000, okay, they're in YouTube, the past ones, but recent ones I upload to Vimeo.com and like Vimeo.com. So when I record myself, it's not live event, so it's just me talking to the camera by myself. I drink vodka, whiskey, beer, and also I smoke cigarettes too. I mean, outside the house when I take pictures. And also on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I do this live Zoom show that is open to everybody in the world. And I live stream to Facebook. I record it and publish it in a Vimeo.com. The show's name is Friday Night Live with Huhnkie Lee. Yeah, every Friday, 6 p.m. Alaska time. So yeah, when I do Friday night Huhnkie Lee, yeah, I'm at home in Wasilla. I drink beer, whiskey, vodka, and I take 5 minutes cigarette break. So yeah, that's how I relax.
I like it. So we have a question, and that is, what martial arts do you practice, and what's your family background?
What's my family background?
Well, that and what martial arts do you practice?
Oh yeah, so I was born in Ithaca, New York, 1978.
Okay.
There were Cornell universities, and my parents went went to Cornell University 1978 because my father was studying economics PhD,
Yeah.
and he got it. And I was born just before that, so I was 3 months old baby. So we all moved back to Seoul, South Korea. I grew up there until 1997. I graduated high school in Seoul, South Korea, 1997. Then I came to Madison, Wisconsin, uh, to study computer science. After that, I went back to Cornell to pursue my own PhD degree in computational biology. But I dropped out dropped out after 2 years. Then I moved to Los Angeles, California. I got a computer program job and also made a movie because I was into acting. It's in YouTube for free. It's called A Therapy for Metrophobia. So it's in YouTube, A Therapy for Metrophobia. And then after that, I joined the U.S. Army and as an E4 specialist, junior enlisted soldier. My job in the U.S. Army was electrician for helicopters, and I was trained in Georgia, Fort Benning and Fort Gordon, Georgia, and I was stationed in Fort Hood, Texas, and we deployed to Afghanistan for 1 year, 2011, and we came back to Fort Hood, Texas. So I did my 4 years. Then I got post 9/11 GI Bill. So I went to law school in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And then I graduated, and then I came to Alaska because I was watching these Alaskan TV shows like Yukon Man, Alaska the Last Frontier. I was fascinated. Okay, so after I graduated, I just so that was like 2015, and for 3 months I did not have a job. I was just looking for a job for 3 months. Then I got a computer programmer job. And then I started studying for Alaska bar exam. I passed it in 2018. So I have a lawyer job in Washington.
Candidate Lee, that's awesome. That's so
Hey,
so
can we take 5 minutes break, please?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I will bring this cell phone with me, but I'm gonna smoking cigarette outside. But
Hey,
would you talk for 5 minutes?
yeah, absolutely,
I'll just listen. Yeah.
absolutely. You know what? I'll even look through some of the headlines real quick and give you some goofy commentary. Um, Enjoy your cigarette or your cigar. Um, So, Candidate Lee, if you are on the Kenai Peninsula right now, Candidate Lee is here. You can go have a cigar with him. You can have some whiskey with him. You can have some vodka. He's in town. You might as well just enjoy the company. Um, Learn a little bit about this. So we've got some decent bars in Kenai. Right up the road from you is the Upper Deck Lounge. It's at the airport. I don't know if it's still open. It might be. There's the Duck Inn on K Beach. It's a bar.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's some decent places. My favorite place on the Kenai Peninsula is a place called Four Royal Parkers. It's owned by my friend Eddie Lee. We do concerts there all the time, and yeah. Um, Yeah, so going through the news, friends, gotta tell you, it's still boring. Just people complaining about. Um, oh, so interesting news. If you had been paying attention to the news and you were noticed that the jail employee and the guy in Alabama who was an inmate, she was a corrections officer. He was an inmate. It was a love story that was doomed from the beginning. She helped him escape anyway. She's dead, and he got killed. So if you are wondering how that story ends, that's how it ends. All right. Yeah. Other than that, that's the big news. That looks like that's about the big news. I mean, we can go to CNN and see what people are complaining about over there, or any other. Daily Mail actually has some interesting stuff. They kept, but yeah, that looks like that's the big news. Is that the prison guard who broke her boyfriend out of prison is dead, and he's back in prison. So there you go. As far as the news, what are your once the candidate gets back in, I'd like to get his input on what's going on in the Ukraine. I'm a veteran. You're a veteran. I am not a big supporter of military intervention. I'm not a fan of new wars. You went to Afghanistan. I went to Iraq. I don't think that those are places people need to go for war. Um,
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for yours as well, my brother. I I'm not at all a pro-war guy, and I'm not a big fan of military intervention. But do you have any thoughts you'd like to share on what is currently happening with the Ukraine?
Yes, sir. I'm very sorry it happened. I mean, President Vladimir Putin, I think he was bored, so he's playing chess game with people's lives. That's wrong. But when it comes to President Zelensky of Ukraine, okay, I think he made a big mistake by not surrendering. Okay, I would if I were the president of the United States right now, because actually I ran for president in year 2020. Okay, I did run for president in year 2020. So if I hypothetically, if I was the president right now of the United States, I would recommend President Zelensky of Ukraine to surrender right away in order to prevent human life loss. And I tell you why. It's a little bit difficult concept. So let's talk about history. India. Mr. Mahatma Gandhi delivered freedom and independence from British Empire without using a single bullet. That's diplomacy, peaceful protest. Okay, so Ukraine may be subject to Russia's ruling, so there will not democracy. It will be dictatorship. But look, in Russia, it is dictatorship, yes, under President Vladimir Putin. But hey, Russians, they go to dance club, they go to restaurant, they sing karaoke, and they drink vodka. Okay, so it's not too bad in Russia. Actually, people are happy in Russia. Okay, so even if Russia subjugate Ukraine, now Ukraine be part of Russia, and because they surrendered and nobody died. Okay, and Russia will not enslave Ukrainians. Okay, that's not going to happen. So yeah, there will be lesser degree of freedom in Ukraine under Russia. They will not be able to criticize President Putin, but it's just lesser degree of freedom of speech. And I don't think that lesser degree of freedom of speech, I don't think that's worthwhile to sacrifice human lives. And Ukraine will get their freedom and independence back, maybe after a couple of years, or maybe after 10 years. Okay? But let's just prevent human life loss.
So I've got another question. What are your thoughts on Ted K? I don't know if they're talking about Ted Kennedy or another Ted. Do you have any clear thoughts on Ted Kennedy that you'd like to share?
Yeah, Mr. Ted Kennedy, Kennedy family, right? JFK, Robert Kennedy, and also Kennedy Sr., and now Mr. Ted Kennedy, they have history of womanizing, okay? So just party, like, so Mr. Ted Kennedy got into a very bad car accident, right? And he tried to cover it up. So, but yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of Kennedy family, to be honest with you. I mean, Kennedy name, yeah, there are good people there, okay? But Kennedy as politicians, I don't think they did very well.
I don't like the nepotism. So I don't know if you caught any of the other lives. I wouldn't assume that you did. I went to a Republican fundraiser for Nick Begich. He's a congressional
Yeah,
candidate,
yeah.
and I don't like the nepotism. Like I don't like. I hate seeing the same name because even if it's a different party, it's still the same name. These still, you still got your same ideas from the same people. So like Nick Begich talks about how he was raised by his grandparents, who I would assume are like the senior Begich, who are the same people that Mark Begich was rebelling against. Okay,
Mm.
so the same people made the same people, and I don't get comfortable by the idea that like the same family name is guiding policy for 50 years in a state.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I can dig your thoughts on the Kennedys. It's just same thing with the Bush family. Like I get nervous when I start seeing like the same family names like in charge of creating policies and rules, especially if they're creating rules on opposite sides or supposedly from opposite sides. Um, okay, so as a lawyer, can I ask you a lawyer question?
Before that, can I make some comments what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a political dynasty.
Yeah.
So it's quite surprising that it's happening in America, where America is like the best democracy as best as it gets. But even today in America, this inheritance of political power still exists. So that's quite surprising, and but we can do better though, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that people forget that you have a choice and you have a chance to be the choice. Like the fact that you're running for Senate and that you've already run for president and you're going to run for president again means that, like, legitimately, the power is in your hands. Um,
Mhm.
Locally, for the local House of Representatives, you can go with the big ticket Republican who wears mom jeans and doesn't have a good time, or you have choices. You don't have to stick with the same person in the same party lines. I guess what I'm saying. I don't want to attack the candidates for being boring, um, but I think that it's important that candidates get out of the house and interact with people before they're candidates. So that's why I thought it was very important that I had someone that told me that you love karaoke. Um, so a friend of mine, Alton Prince, he's a professional fighter in Alaska. Says that he knows you from karaoke and he likes you. So there we go. Um, a man, a man of the people. I just think it's important that people have things that they enjoy doing out of their house.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Um, Candidate Lee, I've got to. We're going on 8 o'clock. Going on about an hour. Is there anything that you want to say? Anything you need to get off your chest? Like, if there was a last message, if this was the last place you were talking to people before election day, what would you say?
I want to sing you a song.
Sing it.
Okay. Kind and generous ladies and gentlemen in Alaska, Kenai Peninsula, and anywhere in the world. My name is Huhnkie Lee. I'm running for the United States Senate as an independent Alaskan in the year 2022, and this song is for you. Looking in your eyes, I see a paradise. This world that I found is too good to be true. Standing here beside you, want so much to give you. This love in my heart that I'm feeling for you. Let them say they're crazy. I don't care what they put your head in my hand, baby. Don't ever look back. Let the world another just fall apart. Baby, we can make it with your heart to heart.
Ah,
And
and
we can
we can
build this
build
thing
this
together, standing
together.
strength forever. Nothing
Nothing's
gonna
gonna
stop
stop
us
us
now.
now.
And if this war runs out of lovers, we still
We
have
still
each
have each
other.
other.
Nothing's gonna stop us. Nothing's
Nothing's
gonna
gonna
stop
stop
us
us
now.
now. I like it. Okay, so I got clarification. It wasn't Ted Kennedy. No one cares about Ted Kennedy. It was the much better question. What are your thoughts on Ted Kaczynski?
Uh, I'm not sure if I know that person.
So Ted Kaczynski is he's commonly referred to more as the Unabomber than
Oh,
as anything else. So Ted Kaczynski, um, author of a well-read manifesto. Um, do you have any thoughts on? Are you familiar with any of his ideas?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, what are your thoughts on some of his ideas?
Yeah, so Mr. Ted Kaczynski, he went to Harvard. He studied mathematics in Harvard. Uh, uh, so I did read his biography in Wikipedia. So why did he? Also, he was a mathematics professor. I think it's in Berkeley
I
University.
think it's
Yeah,
Berkeley. It was
Berkeley.
Berkeley as well. He was
Yeah.
also an MK Ultra test subject.
I'm not sure what that is.
Okay, so MK Ultra was a program that was run by the CIA starting, I believe it was in the early 50s, and some people say it's still run today. But it was run by some of the Nazi scientists that we had brought over in Operation Paperclip. In fact, it's mind control, and it's the German
Right?
control with a K. And so while he was at Harvard, he was a test subject. I'm not sure if you've ever seen A
Yes, yes,
Clockwork
yes,
Orange.
yeah.
Um,
Yep.
so at the very end, when they're kind of like refragmenting Alex's brain, that's kind of what they were doing to Ted Kaczynski when he was at Harvard. The
Yep.
adult, somebody who was trusted by his parents, did that sort of thing to him. But yeah, so that's if that hadn't happened, I think he probably would have moved to California to design the perfect skateboard.
I see. I see. Okay.
Yeah, because he probably would have searched for happiness.
Yes. So, I did read. I do remember that episode, like a psychological experiment in Harvard when he was a student there. Yeah, I'm very sorry that happened. And so when I was reading Mr. Kaczynski's biography in Wikipedia, I kind of understood what he went through. Because it's like this. It's like his lifestyle has been very unbalanced. He studied too much. I love mathematics too, okay, but he didn't spend enough time learning social skills and perhaps learn about romance, love, and so he just studied mathematics too much, okay? So he didn't quite socially develop. So there's an imbalance there, okay? So it's not his fault. It's not his parents' fault. I'm sure his parents did their best that could. But if I become U.S. Senator and U.S. President, I will educate parents about how to educate their children. So it's a balance between work and play and rest. So we need to educate young people how to work, how to study, how to play, and how to rest and have a good night's sleep. It's very important, okay? Yeah.
So we keep getting some really good questions. I was going to break out to hang out with my kids, but this is awesome. All right, so were the Industrial Revolution and its consequences a disaster for the human race?
Would you please repeat the question? Let me
Okay,
charge my cell phone real quick, okay?
okay. Um, yeah, that's an interesting one. That's a really complex question. It's a really good follow up to Ted Kaczynski, though. I'll give you that. That couldn't have been. I got to plug my charger in as well. So I'm going sideways. Please don't judge me. All right. So let's see. There we go. All right. So was the Industrial Revolution? Let's see. Were the Industrial Revolution and its consequences a disaster for the human race?
So a top issue nowadays when it comes to industrial revolution and disasters to humanity, you have climate change and global warming, right? So, well, I have science and engineering background, okay? So I did research on this and I did write some academic papers and essays. They will publish in Social Science Research Network, ssrn.com. If you just Google SSRN space Huhnkie, then you will find those papers. Okay. Also, medium.com. Okay. I will publish them too. So if you type Google like medium space Huhnkie, then you'll find those essays. Okay. So it's a complicated issue. It's a scientific issue. Okay. So when it comes to global warming, climate change, okay, 100 million years ago on planet Earth, Earth was a very warm place, and there were a lot of carbon dioxide in the air. Okay. And 100 million years ago, there were dinosaurs and big trees, huge trees in today's Prudhoe Bay, Enwa, northern Alaska. Okay, and climate change happened. That's why dinosaurs and big trees, they died. They got buried 6 feet under, and they became fossil fuel. Okay, so 100 million years ago, there were a lot of carbon dioxide in the air. So that's why there were a lot of big plants. Earth was a lot greener back then, 100 million years ago. And because we had a lot of carbon dioxide in the air, and that's what plants need to photosynthesize. Okay, so a lot of carbon dioxide in the air, meaning Earth is warmer, and that's what plants need. Plants do not grow in winter. Plants only grow during the summer because it's warmer. Okay, so warm climate and a lot of carbon dioxide in the air, it makes plants thrive. Okay, so when there are a lot of plants, there will be a lot more animals who eat plants. When there are a lot of herbivores, there will be a lot of carnivore animals. Okay, so global warming, climate change, there's absolutely nothing to worry about it. Okay, it's a good thing. So that's why using fossil fuel is a good thing. It will be greener planet. Fossil fuel is the greenest energy there is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's my take on that.
Okay. What are your thoughts on nuclear energy?
So yeah, nuclear energy maybe account for like 10% of electricity in America, something like that. So we just need to develop technology that can dispose the nuclear waste. So that's the research that we need to continue to pursue.
Yeah, I think that nuclear energy has definitely been villainized around the world. Yeah, I'd like to see an expansion on that, as long as it's done safely and the waste is disposed of properly. And the really cool thing is somebody's going to develop, and this is a great thing about capitalism, is somebody's going to develop something to do with that waste that is useful, down the road. So it's not going to be just strictly nuclear waste. It's going to be, you know, you're just going to have options. You're going to have more options than you do now. But I think that getting rid of options for people to use, especially when with energy prices and energy being what it is, the more options you have, the better. All right. Huhnkie, I've got to get out. I've got to do the husband and the dad thing, my friend. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your time. I'd like to talk to you again sometime.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Have a great evening, my friend.
God bless you, everybody.
All right. Don't forget to vote for Huhnkie this when can they vote? When can they start voting? Can we do an early? Are we doing early voting yet?
So August is the primary, and there are 15 candidates in U.S. Senate seat in Alaska 2022. So I'm just one of them. And so August primary in Alaska, yeah, you get to vote for one person. And top 4 candidates will go to general election in November. And that's when the ranked voting system kick in. So you out of 4 people, you pick your number 1 choice, number 2, number 3, number 4. Okay. So yeah, the voting system this year.
I wish you the best, my friend. I honestly, I think I think they all suck except for you. At least the ones that
Thank
I've
you,
seen.
thank you.
I, um, yeah. You know what? You have a plan to relax, and the rest of them don't seem to have a plan to relax. All right. Um, have a great night, and enjoy
Yes, sir.
yourself in
Thank
Kiev.
you. Yes,
Bye
sir.
bye, sir.
Thank you. Bye.